when I turn on the drive over here, watch what happens. You barely hear it. That's pretty amazing. Quiet. What's up? It's Paul from Guitar World, and today we're going to be talking about a buzzkill. Now, in the common vernacular, a buzzkill is someone or something you definitely don't want to be around. But since I'm talking about 60-cycle hum, something that plagues traditional Strats and certain Strat-style guitars, the buzzkill is something that you're going to want to have around and install in your guitar. Now, does it work? Well, let's find out. Or as I say, let's check it out. So what is the buzzkill? Well, the buzzkill is something that practically eliminates, or at the very least dramatically reduces, 60-cycle hum in traditional Strat and certain Strat-style guitars. It's a relatively easy install if you know how to solder, and I'll show you where this rests within a traditional, electronics or a pickguard of a Strat. Now, buzzkill comes in two versions, a single layer and a double layer. What I have here in my hand is the double layer. The single layer is basically the same, it just removes the top portion of this into a single layer. To demonstrate, I have two of my personal guitars. I have a 70-style Strat with no buzzkill installed, and then my personal stage guitar over here, which has a single layer buzzkill installed. Now, both of these guitars are traditional type Strats, with the middle pickup not being RWRP, or reverse wound, reverse polarity. And just to simplify it, a reverse wound middle pickup. Both of these guitars do not have that reverse wound middle pickup, which is why I have the single layer buzzkill installed in the Hendrix Strat. For many people who use Strats or Strat style guitars, with that particular pickup configuration, the most common middle pickup design is the reverse wound middle pickup, which is hum canceling in the 2 and 4 positions of a 5 selector switch. If you have that particular type of configuration with the middle reverse wound middle pickup, then you're going to want to have the dual version of the buzzkill. But if you don't, which I have over here, then you'll only need the single layer version of buzzkill. So let's start with my 70-style Strat here. Now, this particular guitar does not have the buzzkill installed. And as I mentioned before, this has the traditional single coil pickups with the middle pickup not being reverse wound. So you'll hear, obviously, on a clean, you don't really hear the 60-cycle hum when you're totally clean, since I'm running here a Fender Deluxe Reverb amp. So through all the positions. So really nice tone, very early 60s type of tone. But now when I turn on the drive, which I have here down here in Exotic Drive, you'll hear the 60-cycle hum throughout all the positions, and even in the what would normally be the hum canceling positions in the 2 and 4 on the 5-way, because this is not a reverse wound middle pickup. But take a listen, you'll hear that. There's the 60-cycle hum. Each position. Boom, boom. Pretty consistent. Now, keep in mind, this is what my guitar over here sounded like before I had the buzzkill installed. So it's definitely apparent, it's there. And imagine if I was playing even more on stage volume. Now, this is relatively low, but this is definitely noticeable. Now moving on to my Hendrix Strat, throughout the tonal range on a clean setting. don't hear the 60 cycle hum. But now, when I turn it on, you barely hear it. I mean, it seriously reduced the 60 cycle hum. Let's go to the next position. That's what it sounds like. Then let's go to the next position, the middle position. Then in the fourth position. And then finally, the neck pickup. I mean, that's impressive. That's really impressive. Take a listen. It's not there. It's pretty quiet. Wow. That's impressive. Can't beat that. Wow. And this was really a noisy guitar. It definitely does the trick. And more importantly, it hasn't changed the tone of my guitar, which I think a lot of players may find. Hard to determine whether I lost any output, obviously, but I don't think so. It sounds pretty the same output level that I had before, but tone's all there, and now it's quiet. So this BzzzzKill is definitely not a BzzzzKill in the traditional sense. So to demonstrate where the BzzzzKill sits in your Strat style or Strat guitar, I brought with me a Strat pickguard, and you can see on the back a typical configuration of way this guitar is wired. Now, keep in mind with the BzzzzKill, you cannot install it if you have a dual wafer 5 selector switch. It just won't fit because it rests right in here. You'll need to get the traditional single wafer 5 selector switch in order to install the BzzzzKill. You can see this is a single wafer. A dual wafer would have an extra, the wafer that's over here would be an extra wafer right over here. And if it's there, you wouldn't be able to take the BzzzzKill and slide it and install it. So where the BzzzzKill rests, you'll notice the BzzzzKill is fanned out over here. And on the back, there's some 3M tape to adhere to the back of your pickguard here. You would take the BzzzzKill and you would slide it just underneath your wires. You can see it almost rests by the second tone pot over here. The BzzzzKill comes with very detailed instructions on how to connect the wires to your volume pot and pickups. It doesn't really add any mass or weight to your guitar because this thing is incredibly lightweight. So it's almost as if it's not there. And what you're getting out of this, of course, is practically no hum to your pickups. So if your guitar's control center looks a lot like this or like that, then the BzzzzKill is great for practically reducing and eliminating 60 cycle hum in your favorite Strat style or Strat guitar. Definitely check it out.